It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome. It's the Jill on Money show. Yes. It's a new year. I can't believe it. I just looked this up. We actually have been doing this program. Mark and I have been doing this program where we take the mystery out of your financial life for, are you ready for this? 14 years. That's crazy. I am Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst. I'm also a certified financial planner, and so is Mark, the best executive producer in the world. And what we love to do is every week, we love talking to you about whatever it is going on in your financial life. And a new year can prompt you to do a lot of great stuff. And we encourage you to get in touch with us. The way you do that is you go to our website, jillonmoney.com. I know that you regulars have it bookmarked, but maybe someone's listening for the first time today. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. When you're on that website, jillonmoney.com, all you need to do is click the Contact Us button. It's in the upper right-hand corner, and you complete a form. That's the email we receive. If you would like to join us on the air live, just check the box, and Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday, and Mark does a wonderful job of compiling stories you may have missed during the week. All right, it is time to get this program started. Let's go to Bob, who's on the line from Virginia. What's going on? How can we help you out?
So my situation is a little different. I haven't heard it talked about before, and it deals with how to value ESOP, the employee stock ownership program. And then, when I look at this objectively, I've been investing for 20 plus years, and, there's some emotions there of things that I've done that I continue to do. And then I try to look at it, with a different set of eyes, and I look at, I have I'm mostly total market S&P 500, but I do have one stock that I just can't let go of because it's got some emotional ties to it.
Is it called NVIDIA?
It's actually Tesla.
Okay. Do you own a Tesla?
I do. I'm in it right now.
You're talking to two non-car people, me and Mark. So we're just going to own that right there. So Bob, we're going to talk about your total stock market index, your ESOP, and your Tesla stock. But first, we want to find out, how old are you?
I am 48, and my wife is 44.
Okay. Do you have kids?
We have a 2-year-old, and we have a newborn.
Oh, and yet you have time for us. Okay. Are you guys both working, or are you taking time out to actually raise this child, or what's going on?
Yeah, we are both working. My wife is currently taking a couple months off. But she goes back to work. She has her own, she's self-employed.
Oh.
Yeah, but I am back to work.
And how much do you earn?
Total household is about $220,000 for all of us, but there's an asterisk there because we get considerable compensation through the ESOP.
So the 220, is that inclusive of the ESOP or not?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's 220 you live on, right? And then the employee stock ownership plan, is this so tell us a little bit about where you work. Is it a closely held company? And how long have you been there? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a company that's been around about 15 years. I was there from the beginning. It's 100% employee owned. I guess it's common in the tech world for an ESOP.
Yep.
But they give every year 10% of your salary goes into the ESOP, and then it's evaluated every year based on how valuable the company is because it's privately held. You get that added to your ESOP. So
okay. Now, what's the value of your holding in the ESOP?
The value that I currently have is $487,000. So if I left the company, they would have to pay me out, and then I could take that and roll that into a rollover IRA.
Okay. So interestingly, it has real value. if you were to leave, therefore, sometimes when you leave, they'll say like, you leave your ESOP on the table, but that's not the case here, right? You get it. So we have a valuation. You've been there from the beginning. So, I mean, you even came on the program and you sort of said, look, I might be emotional about this. But
Yes.
if you had to put your rational brain in service for us, how's the company doing?
Great. Like I'm very confident on it. It started out, it kind of grew over time. Started out, 10%, 20%, 30%, but last year was 50%. And next year, I feel confident about next year being 50%. And, obviously it's not going to continue forever, but on those, but
although that would be nice. Do they have plans to sell, go public? Is there no? So there's no
Absolutely
intention
not.
of that. Okay.
Absolutely
Gotcha.
not.
So there's no cash out event eventually.
No.
Okay. So if you just were to stay there for your career, if you stayed there for 20 more years, what happens at retirement to the ESOP?
So if you leave the company, that you have to get paid out.
I see. Okay.
You cannot hold on to it.
And if they fire you for cause, same thing?
Same thing, but
okay.
I'm not going to get fired.
I know. I love that about you. You're like, I'm not going to get fired. Okay. So you said you've got so let's say about $500,000 in the ESOP. Then what about in retirement funds? What else do you have?
Quite a bit. So 401k, 775,000, a rollover IRA, 1.1 million, but a gigantic portion of that is Tesla.
Why do you have so much in the rollover? Did you work somewhere else? Like, what's going on?
I did. I've had a long career, and it just so happened to be that my Tesla was inside there. And it ballooned.
I see. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. So, but that's kind of cool because most people would not sell it, not just because of the emotions, but because of the tax implication. But that's not you.
Yeah.
So 775 in your 401k, is that pre-tax or is it Roth?
So 151,000 of that is Roth 401k.
Okay. And what are you using going forward?
Yeah, so I'd say a couple years ago, we switched over to just contributing Roth 401k, 100%
Gotcha.
Roth 401k.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your wife is self-employed. Does she have a retirement plan as well for herself?
She does. She has a solo 401k, which was with Vanguard. And then when Vanguard said they don't want to be in the solo 401k, we switched everything. We switched everything to Vanguard, not just the solo 401k, but we switched everything. Everything to Fidelity.
Okay, so lucky for Fidelity. They're happy to have your money. How much is in her solo 401k now?
So her solo 401k is 91,000.
What else is out there that you guys have as investments?
So my wife does have a rollover IRA of 210,000, and then we have some small Roths, just 8,600 and 12,000 out there. And then a little bit for 529. So it ends up being 2.7 for all that. And then you have a little bit of home equity.
We'll get back to Bob in just a minute. If you've got a question that's percolating in that brain in the new year, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we will be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that is trying to help you make more considered financial decisions, or maybe just think about looking to someone else to help guide you on your financial journey. Consider me and Mark. We're your Sherpas. We'll be your guides. We'll carry some of the water for you, or maybe relieve you of some of your anxiety. If you'd like to get in touch with us, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you would like to join us live, just check that box and Mark will do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Bob from Virginia. What's your house worth?
House is worth easily 600,000.
And what is the mortgage?
415,000 with a 2.25% 30-year fixed rate mortgage.
Good Lord. Good Lord. I just was looking up mortgage rates just for fun this morning. And it was funny because, there is that weird period where, essentially from like, I don't know, let's call it 2021, pretty much right till 22, where you could get these ultra low mortgage interest rates, right? But I went back and I was like, when was the last time we saw 5% mortgage? It wasn't that long ago. It was only 2018. This seems like 100 years ago. I mean, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay. So great on that. So you're not going to move. You like that.
No, definitely not.
So any other real estate or any other assets we should know about?
Absolutely not. I was a landlord for 10 years and I will never do it again. Never, ever, ever.
I guess you had the wrong tenant.
I know, right? Or you had many of the wrong or it's just a pain in the neck, isn't it? That's really what it is.
It is not passive income.
Thank you for saying that, because sometimes we're like, sounds like a great idea to be a landlord, but in reality, it's never quite as easy as people make it out to be. So, Bob, when you look forward and you say 2.7 million, are you including the ESOP or not in that?
That is including the ESOP, correct?
I mean, because I would include that when you say like a lot of people don't have that. I mean, the thing it's not like, oh, I have stock options that are out of the money, or I have stock options in a company that's not public. You have a position in a company that has value. Now, Mark, do you agree that we can kind of keep that ESOP on the balance sheet? It's a retirement asset, no?
It's here. Yeah, absolutely. It's not going anywhere.
It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It sounds like this company is not like some little baby startup where you're like, oh, my ESOP is valued at some silly number that you can't even justify. It sounds like you can justify it. So I think you keep it on the balance sheet and you think of it as a retirement asset. I would not do anything when looking forward. I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, I expect that to be going up by 10% a year or 20% or any. I would just say like, it's just an asset. That's what I would do. What do you see as the priorities? Do you want to retire early? Do you feel like you're going to work forever? Do you want to put money away for the kids' college? What are your priorities?
No, I mean, we both really do enjoy our jobs. So there's no rush to retire early. Definitely not planning to retire early. Mm-hmm. And also we do want to have enough for kids' college, to be able to give it to them. But at the same time, we're not looking to, build generational wealth or something and, give them $1 million or something crazy when we retire. So
okay, that really makes sense. Right now, when you gave me that whole rundown on retirement assets, do you guys also have a brokerage account or a savings account or something?
Yeah, so that's the only thing, and that's kind of where I think that maybe it makes sense to kind of build up. Because, when we went into newborn mode, we kind of just funneled cash. So, we beefed up, and it's really just in a high yield savings account. But really, we don't have a brokerage account right now.
Mm-hmm. How much in the high yield savings?
55. And, okay. We were keeping about half that just because our jobs are so stable. Even through COVID, we never lost a beat.
Okay, great. And how much do you think you need to live on in a given year? I mean, not newborn year, but like, a given year.
So I knew you were going to ask this. So I would say comfortably $11K a month.
And I imagine neither of you will have a pension, right?
No.
Okay, got it. So if you're looking ahead, I mean, how do you I'm not talking about generational wealth. I'm talking about, would you like to make college funding a priority for you?
We want to definitely make sure that we can afford wherever our kids go to college. We don't expect them to go to an Ivy League school, but, we want to be able to cash flow their college and not.
Okay, that's interesting. Mark, do you have more questions for our friend Bob?
I don't. He mentioned, you have 529s. I'm assuming that's very, very minimal in there right now.
13,000
each or total?
No, we just opened the newborn. Just got a Social Security number.
How's the cash flow right now? Like, I know your wife's going back to work, so pretend she's back at work. Household income of 220. How does the cash flow look for you guys?
It's pretty decent. Obviously, when she goes back, it'll be better. And we do have a second, the newborn's going to be going back to daycare, so it'll be about $3,000 a month for just daycare. I'd say, I don't know, a couple thousand.
You say you have like an extra $2 or $3 grand a month. The kid goes into daycare. The baby goes into daycare, right?
Yeah.
Your wife goes back to work. Net, you think you'll still have a couple $1,000s a month to do something with?
Whether easily.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm very conservative with the numbers because I'm just paranoid about running out of money. But yeah,
I love that about you. Is that because someone in your life once ran out of money?
No, I'm just the numbers nerd. I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So I think it would be good to get that money working for you, especially now that you have that high yield savings built up. I'm a fan of the 529 accounts. I just am. I think that it's, it is such an efficient way to save for college. And, you got a long way to go before college. And even if you just said, you know what, whatever is my free cash flow, maybe you wait till you see when your wife goes back to work to really get the numbers. But maybe whatever it is, I would say half the money should go into a 529 and half should go in a brokerage account. Mark, do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the time is on their side. Like, now's the time to get cranking on the 529s.
Because, that 529, I can't help but see the advantage that a 529 has over a brokerage account in just the tax savings, right? You put the same dollar to work in each of these accounts, and the 529 is basically tax free as long as a kid goes to college somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love that. So I would say whatever your free cash flow is, put it to work. Now, what can we do to talk you through the Tesla position? Because you said, you've got a bunch of Tesla stock. It's in that IRA rollover. What percentage is in Tesla stock?
I did it of the overall net worth, and it's almost 16%. So it's 15.8% of overall net worth.
I mean, that's not terrible, honestly, but it's in a retirement account. So what is it that we can do to encourage you to just like blow out of this position? And you can keep some Tesla stock. It's not that big a deal, right? Like, if you look at all of your investments and you're at 16%, what I would at least start to do would be, hey, just take some money off the table. You've made a ton of money. You don't have to wait for it to go back to the top, but to take some of that money and reallocate it into areas where you don't have any exposure.
Does it change your answer if I tell you that I already took it off the table? So when I bought it,
no, because you keep doing it. That's the beauty. Can I just tell you something? When you look at CEOs of these publicly traded companies and they say, oh, well, David Solomon from Goldman Sachs, he sells a certain slug of Goldman Sachs stock. They have to register it. He says, I sell it. And we know what he says? He says, oh, the reason I'm selling it is for asset allocation purposes. They're rebalancing because they don't want too much of they're not saying, oh, bet against my company. They're saying, I'm just doing it because I have so much money in this stock. I cannot, that's just does not make sense. I think it's great. I think it's a great practice for you to basically say, I should just not really have more than 10% of my invested net worth in one company. Now, you might say, get off this call and say, that might make sense. I still don't want to do it. Okay, fine. All right, we got to wrap up with Bob in the next segment. We'll get right back to him. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here trying to help you make some progress towards those financial to-dos or maybe those financial resolutions. So many of us do this in the new year. I get it. It's a wonderful way to think about getting things done, but I don't want you to be a slave to that either. Maybe you don't even know where to start. If you're feeling like a little bit at sea about what are the right priorities, just give us a holler. All you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. Click that Contact Us button and write us a note. If you'd like to join us on the air, check the box. If you don't, that's okay too. We're happy to do some emails. That's fine. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. And maybe this is the time for you to buy my book, The Great Money Reset. Maybe you're considering a big change in your work, in your wealth, in your life, and you need some ways to help turn that chaos into opportunity. The Great Money Reset, it'll do it. Okay, right now, let's get back to Bob from Virginia. If you're very disciplined, even if you just do this once a year and say, once a year, I'm just going to make sure I don't have more than 10% in this company, it's a very good practice. It is essentially what managers do to maintain the right strategy going forward, that you don't roll the dice so much. And look, you've made a ton of money. You've said that. It's great. It's amazing, right? You're in the money. You've done everything right. Why shouldn't you be willing to take the money and reallocate it, be a little bit less emotional about some part of your portfolio and move on?
That makes sense.
I know it's so hard. Mark, does he will he do it? Will Bob do it?
Is he going to do it?
I don't know, Bob. What do you think?
I don't have that mentality. It's like, why own something if you're never going to part with it and take advantage of it?
Everything is for sale. I literally said to my wife recently, someone was like, we were talking about real estate in our neighborhood. And I'm like, if they offer the wrong price, I'm done. And she's like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah, wrong price. I'm out. I couldn't care less. Give me the wrong price for something. I'm very happy to do it. Not to say that like I want to do it, but like if someone came in and offered me, I don't get so, I'm not like romantic about a thing. About people, yes. Like I love you, Mark. I love you so much. A thing, a stock, a house, it's a thing. That's it. You know what's going to be nice is that when you have some of that flexibility and you give yourself permission to sell and you just say, I'm building my net worth. This is what smart people do. They build their net worth. They don't like, it is by accident that you had this position. Because if you had, like, if we go back, when did you first buy Tesla?
I bought it on my birthday in January 2017.
Okay. So like you look back and you're like, I took a flyer, right? And you knew like you really were into the car, you're really into the company, but it could have gone to zero, right? And it wouldn't have hurt you. So look at where you've come. Now, what's the total value of this position? You're talking about significant asset, a significant portion of your total assets. And I just think you're entitled to take some of the money off the table and enjoy it. It's great. It's fantastic. Listen, I'm starting with 10% with you because I think there's no way you would go to 5%. But,
no.
I say, you see that, Mark? See how I read him? 10%. That's plenty. It's plenty. It's good. And you love your car, right?
What was the initial investment in Tesla? How much?
40,000.
That was a big number for you, I bet, in 2017, right? That was a big chunk of your money, right?
Yeah, and at the time I was thinking if it went to zero, I'd be fine. It wouldn't change my world.
Right.
Well, guess what? It went to over $400,000. That's changeable.
That's changeable, and you know what? I want that money. So that's what we have to say. And I know that you said like the rest of the money is mostly in a total stock market index, but like you can expand your horizons. You're not 28, you're 48. And like you could have a bond position. You could have an international stock position. It would like not kill you. But I don't know if I'm going to convince you to do that. So all I can tell you is it is time for you to pull back on that position. And I think you know that you should do that, which is why you've contacted us. And if you just start small, and it's great to take some of the money off the table. Just do it. It's not that hard to do. Once you do it, you'll still have the position. I hope that you look back and say, oh, those idiots. Had I kept this, I would have had 800,000. I really do. I hope that's the case. But it is still, it's like to say, like, what is the most prudent thing to do? Can I ask you some more boring questions?
Sure.
Tell me about life insurance. What do you got?
So that was actually one of my. So we only have. I have 450,000 in life insurance on me, and 200 of that is from my employer, and then term life insurance, and then my wife has 500,000 term life insurance.
Mark, do you think that's enough? I mean, they have a lot of assets.
They do have a lot of assets. They, very young kids too.
Yeah, that is true. You're healthy. You both healthy?
Very healthy.
Can you buy more life insurance through work?
Not through work. Work
Okay.
just gives it to me.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, go out and just look at like what would a 10-year term life insurance policy be?
Okay.
And see what you come up with. It's probably not big money. It really is not. So, and then estate documents.
Estate documents we're good on. We updated those with the newborn. We're still trying to figure out how to fund our trust, but other than that.
Yeah, I mean, like trust. What are you funding a trust with? I mean, you've got most of your money is in retirement assets.
The mortgage, specifically the mortgage. It's been a paperwork nightmare figuring out.
Oh, you want to put your house in a trust?
Well, that's what they said to do. And
really?
then when I tried,
I don't know if I would do that. That's
okay.
a pain. It is a complete pain in the ass.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. And the local city doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to the right person.
I know it. I don't know if I would do that.
Okay.
I am not at all like, I just feel like that's one of those things where it's like, okay, ideally, yeah, but that's kind of how I am. I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Good. I want to make you feel better.
You could set up a revocable trust for, the kids, God forbid, if you were to walk outside and get run over by a Tesla right now. You can get that squared away, but you don't need to put the house in a trust.
I just think that's like a lot of work for not a huge payoff. But that's me. So no, I don't think so. If you have a financial question, if you've got a real estate question, a retirement question, an education funding question, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's talk to Aaron from Boston. Hello, Aaron. How are you today?
Hi, Jill. Hi, Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks.
What's happening? How can we help you out?
So, my wife and I, we've been maxing out our retirement accounts all along, and I'm thinking that right now making a change and maybe not having her contribute to her 403b, and just looking for advice on that.
How old are you guys?
I am 45. She is 44.
Okay. Do you have kids?
No kids.
And do you have anyone else you have to take care of besides yourselves? I mean, parents that are aging, siblings, anyone that's on the Aaron plus wife's at least radar in the future?
Not in the immediate future that we're planning.
So tell us about how much money you've saved in your retirement accounts. You said your wife has got a 403b. Is this a pre-tax 403b or a Roth?
It's 100% pre-tax.
And how much is in there already, Aaron?
She's currently sitting around 900.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Whoa, juicy. And what about your retirement? What do you have?
I have 1.1.
And is it also pre-tax or some combo?
38% of that is Roth, and the rest of it is traditional.
That totals $2 million, Joe.
Thank you very much. God, it's been wonderful working with you, Mark. I
have my calculator here in my hand.
Yeah, I see that. What's the present value of that? Oh, I see, $2 million. Okay. What other monies have you guys set aside?
So we have about $1 million in Roth IRA.
Wait a second. Beyond, so you said of your 1.1, you had 38% is Roth, right? And now we're talking about other Roth IRAs, right?
Correct. These are IRAs.
Yeah. Gotcha. And you said how much is that? $1 million?
About $1 million.
Love this.
That's $3 million, Joe.
Thanks. Keep track, Mark. Keep that tally going.
We got about 90 in an HSA.
Okay. Don't count that, Mark.
And about 500. A little under 500 in taxable brokerage.
Okay. So, Mark, what's our tally?
That would be 3.5.
What is the game plan here? Because you're young. What's the future hold for you guys? Will there be any pension? And do you have any desire to retire early or at least be able to retire early?
So I am thinking about retiring early, and my wife will probably retire early too. But I'm technically eligible for an early out from the Fed starting in 3 years, and then I can live
What?
on my own in 12 years. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Tell me more.
So, for example, we're getting an early out this year. I don't qualify for it yet, but at 25 years of service at any age, you can get out.
And what happens when you get out? Like, what happens? What do you get with that?
It's an immediate retirement. You get your pension, you get health insurance, all that good stuff.
But in 3 years, what would your pension be?
About 25% of my high three.
And what is that?
25% about 130.
How much do you guys spend? I'm sure like nothing. I don't know why I'm going to guess that because they've saved so much money, Mark. How much do you need to live on?
I'm guessing probably 85 to 90 a year.
Bye-bye.
Mark, can you just click out of this program now because we're done here? Cue the hate mail, Aaron. So, first of all, you obviously know you're in great shape, right? You and your wife have done a phenomenal job of saving. Is that simply because you just don't spend a lot of money? I mean, 85, 90 grand?
I mean, we've always been pretty aggressive in terms of saving and anything else, I mean, it was always a kind of pay yourself first mentality, put that aside. And then, whatever you have left, you can spend on, whatever you want. And so I guess we just don't have a lot of material needs or wants.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys own a home?
We do.
What's that worth?
About 900.
And do you have a mortgage on it? No, of course they don't.
We do.
All right. How much?
It's about 350 at 3 1/8.
Okay. So, I mean, the answer to your simple question is, of course, you can pull back on her retirement because we know that you have a required minimum distribution issue that is percolating here, right? We know that by the time you get to retirement, this of your pre-tax, which sounds like about $1.5 million right now, is going to just keep growing and growing and growing. So yeah, what I guess you should probably do is, does she get any match or not?
There's no match.
All right. So are you considering pulling it all the way back and just popping it all in the brokerage account? Is that the game plan?
I think we'll probably split it up a bit, but yeah, for the most part, we'll start building, adding more to the brokerage and probably set aside more for just travel in general.
Yeah, the fun money account.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that obviously you're in great shape. You know that. If in 3 years you decide you want to pull the plug, so what? You pull the plug. You got plenty of money. You got to figure out something else to do because someone like you, I don't sense that you're going to be like, I'm done forever.
Does your wife have a pension?
She does.
What? There's two pensions?
I had a feeling.
And I guess, for her, the question about when to retire is actually going to be dependent on how much she can pull from that pension. Obviously, the later years are going to, garner a lot more.
Yeah, but why? Who cares? In some, so I'm going to just say this. Aaron's wife, if you're listening, and I know you're going to probably make sure she does listen eventually, here's the thing. There is absolutely no reason that you should worry about maximizing your pension. What you should be doing is figuring out what you want to do and do that, because none of this matters. It's just one of those questions, one of these queries that, we don't have to maximize your whole life. You've got to figure out what you want to do. You're so fortunate in that you guys have lived within your means. You have saved so much money. You both have pensions. Do what you want to do. And then let's work around that. It's Jill on Money, and we'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. We do that by answering your questions. So if you've got something going on or a concern, or maybe it's just a check-in on whatever you've decided to be your strategy or your priorities, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. You click that button, a form pops up, write us your note. That's the email that we receive. And if you'd like to join us live, just check the box and Mark will arrange to get you on with us. Right now, let's do this email. I think this is a good one. This is from Brooke, who says, would love to hear your thoughts on any specific strategies for older parents. In my case, I'll be on the cusp of retirement when our kids graduate from high school. How can we properly balance retirement, hopes of helping out and paying for college, and actually living and enjoying life? Boy, I love this question. This idea of balance is something that I think a lot of parents struggle with, whether you're an older parent or not, because we know that a lot of parents in their 40s and 50s are not just dealing with their kids, they're dealing with their own aging parents. So it's a lot to juggle. I totally understand that. But you know, Brooke, this is where I think planning can really help guide you. We need to find out whether or not you're actually on track to fund your own retirement. And then we layer on top of that, if you are, then how much money should you be contributing towards your kids' education? If you're feeling a little bit like you're overfunding retirement, though, maybe you can ease up. And then that gives you the ability to have more balance and have fun in your life. But I really believe that the idea of financial planning will provide you with the freedom to make these decisions with a lot more knowledge. So if you need some help with that, get back in touch with us. I think the planning process is designed exactly for these kinds of situations that aren't as cut and dried, where you may want to look at different scenarios and figure out the one that fits you best at this point. If you need some assistance in determining what are the right priorities, what's the balance, go to jillonmoney.com. It's Jill on Money, and we'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here answering financial questions. It is the beginning of the year. This is exactly when we want to catch you, when you've got the impetus to do something. But we want you to do something that you can use throughout the year. We want you to be able to develop habits that really can change the way you think about your life and your money. So if you need some assistance, all you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com. When you're there, bookmark it. You're going to want to come back. We refresh the content all the time. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. You click that button, a form will pop up. That is the email we receive. If you don't want to come on the show, that's fine. Just give us a lot of detail. If you do want to join us on the air live, check the box, and Mark will arrange to get you on live with us. Now remember, both Mark and I are certified financial planners. But really what we are is kind of like your guides. We want to help you get where you want to go. We know that this is emotional stuff. We know that people feel bad and weird about their circumstances. They're embarrassed if they have too much. They're embarrassed if they have too little. But we don't care. We've got no judgment. We've got no horse in your game. We want to provide you with an opportunity to just talk to us. We're not going to try to sell you anything. I mean, listen, I might try to sell you a Jill on Money Live membership or maybe my book. That's about it. But we're not going to sell you financial services or financial products. What we are going to do is listen to you and try to help you get where you want to go. That is the goal of the program. Okay, right now, let's start our second hour with Martin, who's on the line from Northern California. So what brings you to us today? What's happening?
Well, first of all, Jill, I would like to thank you and Mark for just taking my call. I'm a big fan of your program.
Oh, thank you.
And so I appreciate it. So I'm calling I think like most of your callers that, see how we're doing towards our retirement. But my main reason actually is how to pay for our son's college, because we did not plan on this. So when we actually have 3 boys, but our older 2 are fine. It's the youngest one that.
What do you mean they're fine? They didn't go to college, or they?
Yeah, no. Well, the oldest one got a golf scholarship.
Wow. So, wait a second. Hold on. A golf scholarship.
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Paid for half of it, and he's able to.
And did you borrow or did you cash flow the rest?
And he paid for it himself.
Oh my God. I love this kid. Okay.
Yeah. Our second one has gone to the local junior college. And then he's actually saved up enough to go to a local state college.
Amazing.
Here in Northern California.
Okay, that's great. Okay, now here comes our problem child. Child number 3. How old is he?
So he's 18.
And so it's happening.
Yeah, and he's going to, a private Christian university. So
what happened here? Did he get babied? How did this happen? 2 of these guys come out and they're like, I'm doing the golf scholarship. I'm gritty, the junior college and state. And 18-year-old's like, no, I'm the prince. I'm the favorite. My parents are exhausted. They won't even notice when I apply to private school. Like, how did this happen?
Well, that was not the plan. The plan was actually for him to go to the same local junior college for his first 2 years. But we were talking to, he wants to become a pilot, and we talked to the university about their aviation program.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so one thing led to another, and he's at the university.
How much is this costing us? I say us.
We figured it's going to cost approximately about $110,000 to get him through, but my wife and I plan are to pay for maybe the first 2 years, which would be about $50,000-$60,000, and then he would actually do his last 2 years, because after his third year he can start actually being an instructor, earning some money, and he just plans on staying at home until he becomes a pilot, and so he's going to be making pretty good money.
But he doesn't want to he doesn't want to go to like the Air Force, or he doesn't want to do ROTC to pay for it.
No,
because he's like, no, that means I actually have to give, and it's a scary place. Okay, I got you. All right, Martin, how much do you guys make as in a living? Are you guys both working full time? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'll be 56 this week.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then my wife will be 50 in November. We make combined about $180,000.
Okay. And are you putting money into retirement right now on that 180?
Yes.
Okay. And what are your retirement plans look like in terms of the amount of money you've saved already?
I have $780,000 in 401k. So $730,000 of that is in traditional, and $50,000 is in the Roth 401k.
Okay, got it. And are you putting money in the Roth going forward?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I switched all to Roth.
Great. Perfect. Okay. Next, your wife's retirement account.
We're not putting anything in hers. But she will be getting a pension.
Oh, tell me more. Wife pension. What does that look like?
Yeah. So actually, we don't know. So I've tried to find out about it. It's because she's only been working there for a few years, and she's not vested, and she's part-time. So until then, they can't give us any numbers. So I don't plan on it being much.
Okay. Because she's part-time, and she's not like been there for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah, no, she's only been there for 3 years. I think
we're going to say small pension. Okay.
Small pension, yeah, but she doesn't plan on retiring for a while.
Okay. She better not, because you got to pay for this damn kid.
Right.
What about other assets that you guys have? Maybe old IRAs or brokerage account, savings account? What do you have?
That's about it. I mean, we just have an emergency of about $53,000.
Okay, great. That's good. I like a nice, healthy emergency reserve. Do you guys own a house?
Yes. Yeah. So our house is worth about $830,000.
Mm-hmm.
And we owe about $214,000 at a 2.5% interest.
So we're going to stay in this house, right?
For the time being.
What happens after the time being?
Well, we have our 3 boys. My mother-in-law lives with us. So as the boys move out on their own, we plan to hopefully downsize.
Can you? Like, you live in California. Like, where do you downsize?
Well, with the equity in the house, as we continue to build the equity, I think we can find something smaller and probably pay for it.
Nearby.
Near-
Mark,
yeah.
I was in Southern California recently, and I'm not kidding, sketchy neighborhood. I was like in that neighborhood, and I was like, I don't think I'd walk my dogs by myself in this neighborhood, right? And we're driving through there, and I say to my friend, "Hey, what's a house cost here?" She says, $1 million. You got to be kidding me. New York's a bargain compared to Southern Cal or all of California, probably. So when you are putting money into your 401k, how much are you putting in there right now? What percentage are you maxing out? What are you doing?
Yeah, so right now I'm putting 12%.
Okay.
And since we get a yearly raise, my plan is to increase that 1 percentage point every year until I reach that 20%.
Okay. We'll get back to Martin in just a moment. If you would like to join us on the air, it's very easy. Just go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. No matter where you go on the website, it will always be there. And then write us your note. If you want to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday, a wonderful tune-up for this program. The Jill on Money Show will be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, click that Contact Us button. When that form pops up, you complete it. Now, if you're shy and you want it to just be an email, that's fine. Just give us a bunch of the details. And don't forget to give me the most important detail that some of you seem to overlook, and that is how much money you spend. Because that is actually the key to planning for almost any financial goal. How much money you spend right now. Now, you can make it a lot easier on yourself. Get that number, and then when you fill out the form, say, I got the numbers, but I want to join you live. So just check that box, and Mark will do everything else. We'll get you on the air, which I think is always a robust and delightful experience. So let's go back to our listener, Martin, who is on the line from Northern California. Do you have any other income that you're going to look at going forward? I mean, not like this second, but like any other like side hustle income or anything like that.
Would you include a pension in that, or is that not?
Yeah, I'll take a pension. Give me a pension, man.
Okay, well, it depends on when I retire.
Okay, so what does it look like?
Okay,
let's say you retire. We have an 18-year-old, so we got to get this kid through college, right? So we definitely have 4 years. You got to get to 60. What were you planning on working until 65?
Yeah, I would my goal is to work till maybe I'm about 70 because I do enjoy my job.
Okay.
People in my field actually don't make it that long. I would say between 60 and 65, but at the minimum 65.
All right. What's the pension look like at 65?
So at 65, I would get approximately about $8,300 a month.
Wow. That's great. So that's it. And what's the 70 number?
About $9,800.
And do you have any sort of carve out for Social Security, or would you be able to keep your full Social Security?
Yes, I have my Social Security.
Okay. What would your Social Security, do you know what the numbers are?
Yeah.
Okay. So at 67, what's Social Security look like?
It'd be about $36.44.
About. Okay. And 70?
$45.55.
So in today's dollars, if you had $9,800 and $45.55, do you think you guys could live on that, presuming these damn kids are off the payroll?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Mark, how are we paying for college? We got to pay $50,000 to $60,000 for 2 years. So let's say that we have to pay $3,000 a month for these guys to get this kid through school. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the monthly cash flow look like right now? Like at the end of each month, do you have extra cash after you make all of your retirement contributions and whatnot?
Not right now with us paying for his college.
So you're currently, what are you paying right now? You're just funding it out of what's left over each month?
We've been fortunate that we've had a little extra money, but we'll probably start dipping into the emergency fund. I don't want to deplete that.
I think you got to pull back. I mean, this is temporary. This is only for a couple of years, and you're still going to plan on working for a while longer. So I think this is just a temporary pause on your retirement contributions, which, by the way, you already have almost $1 million saved. You're going to have a huge pension. So I don't think it's going to like derail you in the long run.
Yeah, I was thinking this. How would you feel if just for these 2 years, right? The kids already started college, right?
Right.
Okay. So right now, what if you said, I'm not going to put this 1% increase a year. In fact, what you're going to do is what happens if you were to go to, say, 8% contribution for just this year and next, like well, I guess it would be like a year and a half, right? Because we have to get through the first 2 years. I think if you pull back to 8% contribution on the 401k, that will be enough to get you through these 2 years, I think. How do you feel? I mean, Martin, this is a very weird thing to say because I know you're like, what? All I want to do is say, but we got to pay. I don't want you to whittle down that emergency reserve fund.
No, and having that pension, knowing that pension is there, it allows you to do this.
Absolutely. I mean, otherwise, the only other choice you have is to say to the kid, guess what? We can't afford this, and you're going to have to take loans out. Or you and your wife would have to take loans out, which I don't think you want to do right now because those parent loans suck in terms of rate.
I agree.
I would rather you pull back on your, again. So we have basically, is this semester paid for?
No, monthly plan.
Monthly plan. Okay. So what is the monthly amount that you're paying?
Well, see, it depends. Right now, it's about $2,300 for the next 4 months. And then what? And then next semester, it actually goes up because there's more advanced training that they're going to be doing for the aviation.
And how much is that?
I think it's going to be around $3,000.
All right. So it's $3,000 a month that we have to come up with.
You can do this.
You can totally do this. I think you got, okay. So deep breath, you can do this.
Right.
You totally can. And also the kind of the cool part for you guys is like you can try it and you can see where it goes. But, you're making all Roth contribution right now. So it's going to be a big bang to your buck. It really is. So, what's your income rate? What's your income, not you and your wife, but your income right now?
So I'm about 150.
Okay. And are you entitled to any bonuses?
No.
Okay. Pulling back that 4 percentage points really might do this for you. It really might. I mean, that will give you a good chunk of money. It's not going to be everything, but it'll give you some money. And even if you said, oh, I'm just going to go back to 5%, I don't care. Like, I just don't think that you should soak up all the liquidity. I mean, what do you think you spend, forgetting about college, but your actual expenses, Xing out the college payment that you're making? What do you spend a month?
Probably around $9,000.
Okay. I don't like you having much less than $50,000 in that account. So if you like the first month you say, oh, 3,000, it's fine. I don't know. I think that pulling back on the retirement contribution is really what you're going to have to do. And I don't see a lot of ways around it because, look, if you end up having this moment where you're like, oh my God, I have to take a loan. I don't know. I feel like that's just such a bad deal for you.
Okay.
I really do. And if you had to do a loan, it would be nice to do a very small loan. Well, let me ask you this. Here's a question. If you pulled back, can you take a 401k loan?
Yes, I can.
Mark, what do you think?
I mean, it's probably better rate-wise for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I would do that for sure before I would do a Parent Plus loan.
And would that be better than like taking a HELOC also?
I'm worried about the HELOC. The rates are crap right now. You can find out this is what I'm going to offer you. Find out what the rate is on the 401k loan. I'm much more willing to use that 401k as the asset to borrow against because I feel like that pension gives you a lot of flexibility in retirement. It really does. So that's what I would think about. It stinks, but it's time limited, as Mark said. Now, can I ask you some other like basic questions?
Absolutely, Jill.
Here she comes. You got the estate docs done?
I do.
Oh, good.
Or we do, yes.
Good. And do you have life insurance?
We do, yes.
Okay. And is it term or is it something else?
It's term, yes.
Okay. And
can we continue that? Because I think we have on me for another at least 7 or 8 years, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'd keep it if it's cheap, probably. Sure.
Yes.
Don't jinx yourself.
Oh, God.
I know, right?
Please. You'll get through this. Damn kid.
And this kid's going to be flying your butt all over the world for free.
They do get that. They do get that free stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, that kid's going to make a lot of money. So better take care of his parents. Just remind him of that. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I think that's it. Anything else for us?
No, I think that's it. I appreciate your help.
If you'd like to come on the air with us, all you need to do is go to the website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Now, while you're there, go check out Jill on Money Live. That is our subscription service, $35, and you'll be able to join us for 4 quarterly webinars over the next 12 months. It's the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's talk to Summer, who's on the line from Idaho. Hello, Summer. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. What can we do for you?
Well, I was on your show a few years ago, 2 years ago, pretty much exactly. You gave us some great advice. Recently, my husband, who works for an engineering firm, the engineering firm has been sold. And we were shareholders, and we were going to, because it was sold, we were going to be getting these money from these shares, and we're trying to figure out what to do with it.
I mean, it's a party is what I'm thinking. A big party.
Yeah, we're going to Spain, but...
Yeah, all right. Ole. Okay, so first of all, let's start with some facts. Summer, how old are you?
I'm 45.
And how old is husband?
He just turned 53.
And do you have kids?
We have one 9-year-old.
Okay. With the sale of this company, will your husband be employed by the new company, or does this mean a change of company for him?
No, he will continue to be employed.
How much does he earn?
Right around 100,000.
And do you work full time?
I do.
How much do you earn?
100,000.
Oh, how nice. Symmetry. I love it. How much is the cash out from the sale?
After taxes, we think it's going to be between 400 and 430, roughly.
Mark, cue that big ding, 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 ding. Okay. Wow. 400 grand. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about everything else that you is it 400 after the trip to Spain, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to key in on the 400 number. If it's more than that, that's gravy. So what have you guys saved previously or up to this point? What's in your retirement plan? What's in his retirement plan?
All right. So my husband got a late start. He has about 520,000 in company 401k, and then they have a Roth 401k, and I don't know the breakdown.
Okay. So that's all his retirement assets, 520.
And then he also actually has a Roth IRA at Vanguard, which is about 40,000.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So what about you?
I have a little under 100,000 in a Roth IRA at Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 140,000 in my 401k.
Okay, great.
And then I'm a teacher, so I'll also receive a pension.
Ooh, tell me about the pension. What does that look like?
So I am eligible to retire in 12 years, and I will get, as of right now, $5,300 a month.
Ooh, that's a big number. That's great. Fantastic. And have you guys saved money so far for the 9-year-old for college?
Yep, we have $50,000 saved.
Okay. Any other things that I should be aware of just in terms of the future? I mean, I know you're younger, so I don't know if your parents are alive, if his parents are alive, anything like that, essentially could mean that you have some built-in expenses in the next, coming decades.
His parents have both passed away. My parents are great. So, no, I don't believe that we will have to worry about anyone.
Okay. What about the kiddo? 50 grand. Are you putting money into this 529 account or whatever you've been doing so far?
Yeah, we put in $350 a month.
Okay.
Is there a brokerage account as well?
No
brokerage. All right, this is all great. This is fantastic. Tell us about the house. Yeah, I bet you got a house that, by the way, I met somebody who was a realtor in Idaho.
Oh, no, that's my sister, actually.
What do you mean? That's your sister?
Oh, she was just on?
Yeah.
Oh, remember we spoke to her not too long ago, Jill?
Yeah. Okay, I love this. It's all in the family.
Yeah.
But so what about your house in Idaho?
All right, so we bought our house 8 years ago. It's roughly worth $1 million, probably a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And we owe $240,000 at about, I can't remember, it's about 3.3%.
Is that it for your real estate? No rental home or anything like that floating around?
We have a condo. A condo that.
How much is that worth?
$400,000.
And is there a mortgage outstanding on that as well?
Yes, $60,000 at 5%.
Okay, at 5%. Okay.
Well, I bought that and lived in that I bought it in 2010, and that was my primary home for a while.
Uh-huh. So. And when you want to keep the condo, right? Like as a rental property?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Any other assets we should know about?
We have roughly $30,000 in an HSA.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. And then we're low on cash. I know that this is
not for long. Not for long, baby. Not for long.
We only have about $20,000 in emergency funds.
What is the rental bringing in every month?
So we bring in, we charge $2,000, and our mortgage and the HOA is about $800.
$1,200 a month cash flow positive. And you say for yourself that, essentially 12 years from now is what you're thinking. What about your husband? Does he want to kind of keep going until he's the same 12 years? I mean, he'll be 65. Is that something you're both consistent about?
No, he would like to be done earlier, like 62. But we don't know if that's possible.
Okay, so he wants out in 9 years. With your pension, does that still allow you to collect Social Security?
Yes.
What will that be?
At 62, it'll be $2,300. At 67, it'll be $3,000, and at 70, it'd be $3,300.
Okay, and what about his?
That I don't know about. I think it's about the same.
Okay. All right. So we got $400,000 to spend. Mark, any other questions that you're excited about? Oh, do you have life insurance, you guys, or not?
Yep. Yes, we do.
Good. And estate documents done?
Yes.
Okay, great. Mark, what do you want to do with our 400 besides our big fiesta en español?
I mean, there's two obvious things. One would be just supercharging the 529 if that's, a super priority for them. And the other, I mean, brokerage account. They don't have one.
Right. It's a beautiful thing. What do you think you guys spend on a monthly basis?
I would say between $8,000 and $9,000.
Not nothing.
No.
Let's say 9. Okay. Because I like to always err on that side. So it's $9,000 a month. All right. But your pension plus future Social Security will be able to really tide you over.
Plus rental income.
Right. So I think first and foremost, this, out of the 400, we want to put some money in emergency reserves. Now, you don't have to go nuts because, you will have a pension. It's unlikely that you would lose your job. But let me give you the idea here. What would happen if in a year from now, the new company goes to your husband and says, thanks, bye, you're out?
Right.
Right. So we just have to prepare for that as a possibility, not an eventuality, but a possibility. Jill on Money. We'll be right back.
401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. Let's get back to Summer from Idaho. Normally, let's just pretend you were two married teachers. Then I wouldn't be like, keep 6 months in the bank, no biggie. But I do think having, 80, 90 grand. And Mark, what do you think for emergency reserve? I'm sort of thinking 80 grand-ish.
Yeah, I'll do a year.
So of our 400, let's put 80 grand into your emergency reserve. Okay. And now we have 320 left. Do you want to supercharge the 529 or do you want to just have it all flexible? What do you want to do?
We want it to be flexible. I've run the numbers for a state school, and I think, we don't know where he'll end up, but we want to save enough for him to go to a in-state school.
So in-state, what's the tuition right now? Give us an idea of that.
I am not totally sure. I know that by the time he graduates, the numbers say it'll be about $130,000.
All right. So, but we could put in Mark, how much would we have to put in now? He's only 9. It's perfect.
50, yeah, if they put in 50 grand, then you could stop doing the monthly contribution.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So here's what I'm okay. So we had 400, right? And of that, you're going to say, all right, let's put 80 grand. I'm going to just do round numbers. Okay. Let's put 80 grand in the emergency reserve. So we always have 100,000 in emergency reserve. Make sure you buy some CDs with that, long-term CDs, just in case you have it locked in. You have some of the money is liquid. Then we're going to put 50 grand into the 529. Done and dusted. Okay. That 50 grand comes out. And now you've got the rest of your money, which is 270 grand, which you're going to open up a brokerage account. And in that, you said you had Roth IRAs. Where are those? At Vanguard?
Vanguard.
You can open up a brokerage account at Vanguard. Okay. And in that brokerage account, you're going to say, whatever we end up doing, 270, 300, whatever's left, you're going to start your first ever brokerage account, which is so much fun. Now, don't overthink it. What we really want you to do is have broad exposure to the stock and bond markets. We want you to choose some index funds, which is probably what you're doing in your IRAs now, right? Isn't that what you're generally doing? Pretty simple.
Yeah.
That's what I think you should do. You may be tempted in some of this conversation to pay off your 5% mortgage in that condo. Don't do that. It's actually not that necessary because it's a business. You got money. I'd rather you have access to your money. I'd rather you not pay that down. No paying off of mortgages. But what this plan will do is it's going to give you options. So your cash flow is going to free up, right? You're no longer putting $350 a month into your 529 plan. Now that money plus the rental money is popping right into your brokerage account. That's what you're doing. And unless you have some other big plan ahead of you, I think that gives you the most flexibility. So how does that sound to you guys?
I have a question. So can I put $50,000 at one time into a 529?
Do you have a state-based plan, like an Idaho plan?
Yeah, it's in Idaho.
Okay. So, you're allowed to do this in most plans. You're allowed to do this. If you want to just make sure that you do it kind of like in a very methodical way where you're not messing up anything, you can do 18 for you, 18 for your husband this year in 2024, 36,000. And then you can top it off next year, a calendar year. Then you're inside of the annual gift tax amount. And you don't have to worry about using up your future monies and part of your gift tax. So that's what I would do. Okay. And then, if you want to put a little extra in next year, whatever, it's fine. But I think that for your purposes, if the kid decides to go to private university, if that happens, and you want to help out because life's really good for you, you'll have the brokerage account. You can help out. And if your husband, for all intents and purposes, gets blown out and it's a bummer, you have some money.
He just to interject, he just became a project manager. And so he should be earning more if things go well. So he's sort of changed his job title. He has changed his job title, and there could be more money coming.
But I just want to make sure that he knows that at age 62, he's not claiming Social Security at that time. In fact, I would wait. And what I would do is from his age 62, before you start collecting your pension, I would start pulling money out of his pre-tax retirement account and use that, depending on the tax situation at the time. Let's just pretend tax law is exactly the way it is right now, okay? Ideally, what would happen is his age 62, until you collect your pension, he pulls out as much money as he can to stay in sort of similar tax bracket. And that'll start getting some of the money out before he's forced to take it out at his age 75. I think that would be a great idea for you guys. You don't have to convert it. Just take the money out, pay the tax that's due, add it to the brokerage account or use it to live on. That would make me feel a lot better for you guys, just to have that money out, tax paid, boom, 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 you're done. And if he's making a lot more money, if he goes from making 100 to, let's call it 120 or 25, and you're able to take the $350 a month plus your annual rent plus an extra $1,000 a month, and you're pushing that all into the brokerage account, all these numbers get a lot better. They really do. Okay.
Well, I have another question that I don't know how much of a fan. So we've done really well with our rental. And of course, I bought it at the right time.
Yeah, you're not buying anything else.
You don't think so?
No, definitely not. No.
Remember, her sister's a realtor.
I understand that. This is what I would.
Not that in favor of it. I don't think we both have rental properties that have done well, but we bought in.
You bought it at the right place. Exactly.
So I know that.
Wait until the next crash, and you're sitting there and being like, I got some extra money. You'll know it's not now. The time is not now. You're listening to Jill on Money. We'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are going to conclude the program shortly, but we have an email. Remember, if you want to send us a note, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. This is from Jeff. I planned on retiring in 2025, but now I may put things off a bit. I'm really afraid of the changes that will be made by the new administration and how these changes could impact the market, inflation, and Social Security. Besides additional anti-anxiety medication, how can I calm my fears? Well, Jeff, whenever I feel anxiety about something that is completely out of my control, I try to return to the planning process. And the reason is that when you're able to conduct a financial plan, what it will do is take into consideration what's happening today, but also project way out into the future. So first of all, can we just talk a little bit about Social Security? I think that it is fair to say that if you're likely thinking about retirement, that you're probably over the age of 50, 55. And I do think that changes to Social Security, even though I don't necessarily believe it's going to happen, if there were real changes to the system, I think people over the age of 55 would likely be grandfathered in. In terms of the markets or inflation or the economy, when you think about planning, you're planning for decades in the future. Again, I don't know how old you are, but I would love for you to get back in touch with us so that we could hold your hand, maybe run some numbers with you, and help calm those nerves down. And for everybody else, it is impossible to predict what the near term is going to be. That's why we would love to focus on where you'd like to be in the long term. So if you've got a question, you've got a concern, give us a holler. Go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. While you're there, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter and check out all the content that lives there. Just bookmark the site. You'll be back. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web. We ask you to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.